Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's LongBox. How's everybody doing today? It's a beautiful Sunday. I'm just curious. I didn't even look at the weather. I went right downstairs. What is the weather today? Okay. Today seems to be pretty nice. No rain. All right. So this is Sunday Comics. I didn't put out any notification. Why? Because I completely forgot to. I just woke up. I slept in. Oh man, I didn't even get out of bed till 9:30. It's awesome. Great night's sleep. So how's everybody doing? Just gonna take a sip of coffee. How you doing, Marcus? You getting commercials before? Like when you click on, you get commercials before him. Odd. Hey, hell chat. Zach10, have a blessed day. You too. How's everybody? Yeah, I went to bed. I don't know what it was. I slept like a baby. Oh my god! And I don't know about you guys, but I always love going to bed and not turning on an alarm. I just sleep so good whenever I do that. You know, just turning on an alarm, just I don't know, it puts something in my head that I need to be like part of my brain aware of listening for an alarm. But last night, you know, because normally I wake up like around 7 o'clock, but I woke up at 9:30. I was like, oh geez, jumped out of bed, started making coffee, and prepped up everything, and didn't put out any notices that I was going live. Oh well. But it was such a good night's sleep. So I'm just filibustering for a minute, see if people file in. Fellsbug says he always loved this cover. Fellsbug says happy Sunday. Yes, happy Sunday to all. I'm on my way to Charlotte Comic Con to hang. Oh, cool. Tell him I said hello. So you're driving? How long is your drive? So Marcus was the one who suggested this comic. I don't use an alarm. Oh, I just get up even during the work week, because I set my alarm for 4:30. You know, that's when I wake up during regular work hours. It's gonna be rough going back to that. Logic's Finest said, "Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Logic. How's everything? All right, so this is Sunday Comics. That's where I take a single comic and we just go through it. You know, usually for about an hour. For those of you who are new, this is one of my favorite things to do on my channel. It's just pure comic hangout. You know, I love this. This drives me nuts that everything is just slightly askew. And I thought, now that Pops from the Madness Network showed me how to do the camera within the camera, and I was doing it right. We just found out that there's something wrong with one of the ports on my computer. So, you know, we just did process of elimination, and he just sat there like talking with me while we figured out. It was really nice. Really nice. So now that I'm able to do camera within, you know, two cameras on two cameras, one stream, I'll try this, see if this works. The only thing that makes me nervous is if I spill coffee, it's going all over the comic. So here we got what if number 3. I'm trying to wake up. Jeez. Normally I'm up for like an hour and a half before I do these. I'm not trying to jam as much coffee into my system as possible. If the event never existed, well, that is what we will find out, Zach Dan. That is what we will find out. The Phantom Outsider. I love that name. Okay, so without further ado, I might I always filibuster a little bit, but we got 12 people watching. That's pretty cool. So I don't know if anybody but heard me say, but I heard a huge boom the other day, just a loud boom. At night we had a storm. You know, there's hurricanes up and down Florida, and in New York where I live, there's been severe weather, just rain and thunder and lightning. And normally I love thunder and lightning. But when you're a homeowner and there's trees all over the place, you get a little wary. So we heard a boom. It didn't sound good. So went outside, looked up on the roof, didn't see anything on the roof. So that was good. Went back inside. Then in the morning, did a 360 around the house. Huge branch. You don't realize how big branches are when they're way up in the air. But when they're down on the ground, you see how big they are. This branch fell off the tree, landed on my wooden deck, and broke it, which is kind of annoying, but I'm going to tear up that deck anyway. It's the deck has got to be 40 years old, and it's not the way I want it anyway. So it's going to get torn out. So no harm, no foul there. But it's huge branches over my house. I went to the neighbor yesterday, and the neighbors were like, "Yeah, we were going to talk to you about it. We got people coming on Monday to give an estimate, and they might need access to your backyard." So I was like, "Okay, cool." It's always good, and you get a little nervous. You don't want to start a war with the next door neighbors. They turned out to be super nice. So they have the tree is tilting. It's old and it's tilting and it's pushing the fence, so it's rooting the fence and it's like leading towards our house. So they're dealing with the tree. I don't know if they're going to take the whole tree down, which I think, or if they're just going to trim the limbs. But anyway, it was nice. So today, as soon as I'm done with this, broken neck and all, I'm going outside with the chainsaw, chopping up wood, because if I'm going to have these guys coming in my backyard, I don't need them tripping over a limb and hurting themselves. Okay, so I just wanted this filibuster for a minute while people were filing in. So let's see, are there any comments that I missed? Heroic Tales, yes, Heroic Tales is my comic. Got a bump in sales the past couple of days, so thank you for everybody. It's got 2 weeks left, I think, on Fund My Comic, so I'll have a closeout stream, and I think 2 weeks left on Kickstarter. So there we go. Yeah. I got to look at the exact dates. Feldsburg, thank you. I hope to. Pressure's on. Pressure is on. Alternate title: What if the Avengers had a 2-issue run? Sorry about the deck, but glad nobody got hurt. Yeah, nobody got hurt. I'm just more happy that me and the neighbors still get along. They're nice people. You don't want to start like you're going to live in your house for 30 years next to your neighbors. You don't want to start a battle with them. Once a tree attacks, yeah. I mean, we just redid the roof. We spent $10,000 fixing the roof. Don't need that a tree start. Share the link. Thank you. All right, so let's start this. Just wake it up and then let people file in. One more sip of coffee. I'm going to put the coffee over here because as I'm thinking about this, it's probably not the best idea to have a cup of coffee right next to the cup. So this is my original copy that I bought in 1977. When What If came out, I always thought that it was, it was double sized. I think it was every other month. It was bi-monthly, meaning every other month, and it was double sized. So it was like a big deal. And the first couple of issues were full, solid, double sized stories. So it just seemed like, wow, like this is important. And the idea of alternate stories and alternate universes was quaint, was novel, was new and interesting. So it was something that, like, it was not run of the. It was, nowadays multiverse are everywhere. Everything's multiverse. I'm sure there's going to be like Tide commercials with the multiverse pretty soon. But it was something that was different, unique, and cool. So let's just check out this cover before we open it up. as you can see, this is my original copy. It's kind of beat up, and as you can see, it was cut wrong. You'll see. So makes me want to see how much it would cost to get a second copy. I mean, I'm not one of these guys that are like, this has to be mint, this has to be mint, but there comes a point where I'm like, oh God. All right, so we got this wonderful Gil Kane cover. You can see the Gil Kane signature right here. It's what if the Avengers had never been? Well, it's kind of misleading, because even in the story, the Avengers had been. So, like, this is more like Phantom Outsider says, what if the Avengers had a 2-issue run? All right, so let's open it up. And what do we got? We got a really cool splash page. I don't know why. Do you ever just see like just a cool comics page and you just can't explain why? It just is cool. What do you guys think? Should I put it on the easel or leave it like this? What do you think? I am the Watcher. Now just look at this Watcher face. It is human and alien at the same time. I find it like creepier. Like when John Byrne makes the Watcher like really alien, it doesn't bother me. It's like, okay, but something about this is something about this face is it's like the uncanny valley gets triggered. It's too close to human. But I love this Hulk jumping out. It just, you almost feel like you could grab his hands like he's reaching out. I just love this. You got the old Iron Man armor over here. So here's the credits. Co-plotted by Jim Shooter and Gil Kane. Jim Shooter is the writer, Gil Kane penciler. Klaus Johnson is the inker. Denise W is the letterer. G. Russo's colorist. A. Goodwin editor. I like it says, take a long look at Iron Man's gold style golden armor, faithful one, because this scene from the Avengers #2 is the last time you'll see it. Roofs are expensive. Yeah. I need it to last 20 years. 1977, I was already a die-hard Spider-Man fan, Star Trek fan, and I discovered my favorite show ever, classic Doctor Who. What are you still watching Doctor Who? What do you think of Doctor Who now? I stopped where that big fat blob came out. I'm the Doctor. That was my last episode of Doctor Who. I started watching Doctor Who with reruns when I went for a summer to North Carolina at my aunt's house. And there was like nothing on TV. There was nothing to do. I was like the only kid. I didn't know anybody. And I just watched Doctor Who with me and my dad. And my dad was just like, this sucks. But it was the 4th Doctor, Tom Baker Doctor. So and then that was it. That was like a weird summer of Doctor Who. And then the Chris Eccleston Doctor I started watching. And I watched it till the almost done with the female Doctor. But during that time, I went back from the very first episode and watched everyone. I'm up to the 5th Doctor, the first story with the 5th Doctor, and I'm still watching the classic ones, So there's my story of Doctor Who. This is one of Marcus's favorite. In this universe, you wash your clothes with genetic detergent, leads to Axis victory in World War II. Support the Allies. Buy Tide. Yep. Watto is a dirty peeping Tom. That's his whole reason of existence. That's the whole purpose of Watto, to be a dirty peeping Tom. The Hulk is great. The thick lines, yes. That is a Hall of Fame lineup. It is. More like Dr. Heck, what the heck nowadays. No, I completely walked away from Doctor Who when the woman was cast. I remained hopeful. And I was not rewarded for my hope. Okay, so yes, the thick lines. Who said the thick lines? Oh, Marcus. Yeah, Marcus. For those of you who don't know, Marcus is a comic artist himself. He went to the School of Visual Arts. I think he was taught by Eisner and Klaus Johnson and Gil Kane. Well, is it fair to say Gil Kane? But yes, I agree with you. I just love this. I love this Hulk. This is just Photoshop this Hulk out, make a sticker of it or something. It's so cool. And that was the thing. When I was a kid, we used to argue, did the Hulk fly? And of course, we were like, no, he's super strong. He jumps. But if you read the original Hulks, you know, the Jack Kirby and then later Steve Ditko, he flew. He changed his directory. You know, he changed his vector. Yeah. I got to put this back on the easel. It's tough to see. It's tough to see. You know, and that way I can bring my coffee at him. You know. There you go. There you go. You know, but like, you know, there was one issue in number 6, my favorite Hulk comic of all time. They shoot a missile at him and the Hulk changes and veers, you know, while flying, you know, while in the air. You can't do that when you jump. Okay. Is this better? The new Doctor, the new Who is a shadow of his former classic Who's was theater actors, writers, was serious. Doctor Who's for, yeah. My favorite Doctor is the first Doctor. You know, I don't know why. I just have a soft spot for that old codger, you know, and man, the whole lighting here is terrible. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. I don't care if my forehead glows. Nobody's looking at that. Yeah, the whole that's one thing when I first started watching Doctor Who with the first Doctor. I mean, when I went back to watch, I was impressed by how serious they took it. You know, that, you know, and why can't I think of his name? The original Doctor, but that's one of the things he would tell all the extras when they were acting weird was take it seriously or don't take the job. You know, commit to the bit. And I really, really like that. And I know British sci-fi is fast and loose with continuity. And that's one of the things that drove me crazy. But I like, oh, like the, when, why can't I think of his name now? When the 13th Doctor took over, he was like, oh, I got to clean up all the mistakes that all the other doctors, I got all excited. I thought that this Doctor was going to go back in time and revisit like older stories and cross the T's and dot the I's. And then, you know, he erased himself from like the galactic database so that nobody remembered Doctor Who. And then the next episode, everybody remembered Doctor, like just British continuity. Just they don't care about continuity. But I just had enough when the woman Doctor, the 14th Doctor, who I guess is technically the Valyard, if you remember the 6th Doctor story. She meets the big fat black woman who's like, I'm the Doctor, and she comes out and like there's been infinite Doctors before the first Doctor, and I'm like, I'm done. There's only so much you could break continuity, and that was my problem with Marvel Comics too, was the disregard for continuity. I quit Marvel before it got to be you know, identity politics. I quit Marvel because of the disregard for continuity more than, and it's funny because now when I go back and I'm still collecting some Marvel comics, like just to finish runs before the identity politics era, and I'm actually like enjoying them now that I don't care about Marvel's continuity anymore. I just emotionally distance myself. So there you go. That's just double jumping. Yeah, but you got to land and jump. You know what I mean? He was like moving and swerving in the air. Kirby thought that the Hulk could fly, but Stan didn't want him to fly. Yeah, I heard that. And it makes sense too. You know, it makes sense the way you read the comic. Current Who is not the new Who. They got too much identity. Yeah. And that's why, what do they he body regenerated. So there's 2 doctors. I guess they gave himself an escape hatch in case this show doesn't last. Kirby once said you could show Hulk take off a landing, but not the arc of the leap. What makes the scene in the first Hulk movie interesting when they showed the full arc of the leap. Oh, okay, yeah. New Doctor Who is the British version of a Roger Corman film, just on a small screen but better budget. Silly, over-the-top nonsense for a dumbed-down audience. To each his own. I like Capaldi. I just think Capaldi had a bad material. I liked him, and I would have liked him if he was more grouchy, you know. And I also had a fan theory, and Capaldi broke it. Each Doctor regenerated, got younger and younger, except for Capaldi. Capaldi was the first Doctor where the actor cast was older than the previous Doctor. So I would have worked that into continuity, you know, that something was, you know, with the regeneration just making you younger and younger. Good morning, Woodrow. Good morning. British sci-fi is not fast and loose. That's only the new Who crap. I suggest Quatermass, Day of the Triffids. Well, yeah, well, it's hard to break continuity within a movie. I don't know what Quatermass is, I have to admit. Dave the Triffids is excellent. The Tripods, I don't know what that is. I know Dave the Triffids is a movie. You know, so British sci-fi, when I say, I'm talking about, like, you know, even the British comics. Like, if it just seems like it contradicts itself. My wife gets so mad at me. She's Canadian, which is like, Canadians are like a British American hybrid. Personally, I prefer British sci-fi of American better writing. Capaldi's the last Doctor for me. Yeah, I have to agree. Hey, Tree Goblin, how are you doing? I like that image. There's also the low budget but well written Blake 7. Yeah, people talk about that. I got to check it out. I don't care about the low budget. I don't care about low budget. I'm still an original Star Trek guy. You know, I can get past the low budget. You know, and it's funny because when my wife used to watch the original Doctor Who's with me, she's like, I can't get past the bad sets and everything. I'm like, that's kind of the charm. Capaldi was returned to classic Doctor Who, a middle-aged actor. Yes, a middle-aged, like Shakespearean serious actor. I had no problems with him. My problem with the Capaldi run was what's her name? What was the companion's name? Jeez, the pretty girl, Jenna Coleman. Why can't I think of the character's name? But like, she's dead. She should have died when she got shot, and then they transformed her into a female Doctor Who space lesbian with the girl from Game of Thrones. Like and then Billy. Same with Billy. I kind of like Billy. Billy was one of the first companions that I instantly liked, and I liked it because she asked intelligent questions. But then they keep elevating these, like the companions when they leave, like they get these grand exit and they have to top the last one. No. Billy died. She became a Cyberman, you know, just let her die, you know, and then she becomes another time-traveling lesbian. It's just, knock it off. Hey, Stipling's here. Dave the Triffids was great. It was. Yeah, Blake 7, I got to check it out. I haven't watched Blake 7. And Marcus is going nuts because he can't wait to talk about this comic. Yvonne is okay. Yeah, I got to get into Blake 7. Blake 7 is brilliant writing, acting, and plots. Absolutely. Yes, people love it. Clara, that's her name. Clara. I couldn't remember her name. Tom Baker was the last Doctor for me. SFX, part of its charm. It convinced me at the time. Yeah, I like I said, it doesn't bother me. The cheap special effects is part of the charm. I'm not sure if the lack of continuity is laziness, vanity, or if they... Right. I don't know the answer either. But yes, is it laziness? Is it that they get new people who don't know the source material? If it's done to annoy the fans on purpose, then it worked. Congratulations. A story that I will tell about this that has nothing to do with anything is around 1998. I was living in Albuquerque, and I drove to San Francisco. Not San Francisco. I drove to San Diego to visit my friend Jimmy, and with my girlfriend and I my girlfriend at the time, and we went there. We stayed for a week in San Diego, and my other friend just happened to be there, and he was from San Francisco. That's why San Francisco is. And he has this personality where he likes to scooch you. He likes to annoy you. He just likes to annoy you. And he would do it to everybody, but he would just pick one person and be like, I'm going to bother this person. I'm going to bother this person. Well, he decided he was going to bother me. So I was dirt broke, used the last of my money to go to visit Jimmy with my girlfriend. And I was all excited to introduce my girlfriend to all my friends. And my other friend just bothered me the whole. So finally, I told him off. And, we still had like 3 days left. And I'm like, don't talk to me. Go in the other room. Like just leave. I'm trying to talk to Jimmy. You go in the other room. And it was like uncomfortable. And I didn't talk to him for 30 years. And then he called me like a week ago when he found out about my neck and apologized. He was like, and I was like, you got what you wanted. You wanted to bother me. You bothered me. You know what I mean? And I'm that kind of person that like, why do I want to hang out with somebody who goes out of their way to bother me? So he apologized, and I'm the kind of guy when you apologize, I'm like, okay, cool. It never happened. And believe it or not, we've been talking every day since, like catching up like best friends. Okay. So sad now. Current Marvel, DC Comics, Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor. Yeah, absolutely felt bug. I'm in the same boat. Just like when Brian bothered me and I didn't talk to him for 30 years, that's the way I am. You get a strike, force fields go up, you're outside. Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who. I still love the old stuff. Still love the old. Oh, you hear my stomach? I still love that stuff, but nothing new. Absolutely. You ever watch Blake 7? Careful. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. It's about a BBC identity woke policy. Yes. I and that's what happens with the BBC. When you're funded by the taxpayers, there's no incentive to, it's communism. You know what I mean? Under communism, you're going to get bad comics. I'm walking into the con. So I know something sad is going to happen. It's not lazy writing. It's social ideal activists posing as writers. They push out the talented writers who create and entertain to push genders to new writers. Yep. That's what they do. They got to lift their legs. They don't. They're great writers, but they could write these stories, but they're not good enough to create anything on their own. It's stolen gravitas. They're taking Doctor Who and pushing their ideas on Doctor Who because they don't have any, because they know if they created their own material, it would bomb. So they're like parasites. They're parasites. They did it on purpose. If you don't like my talk, don't buy my problem solve. Yep. Absolutely. So we have here the Avengers sitting around the table, and I love how Giant Man, you can't just shrink down to normal size, but that's his stick. He's got to be this. So they're talking about the Hulk. So in legit Avengers continuity, the Hulk stayed in I think he left in issue 3. I'm sure Marcus could correct me, but he's at a convention. So issue number 1 was the creation of the Avengers, when Loki made an image of Hulk going nuts, and the Teen Brigade, Rick Jones and the Teen Brigade sent out signals to the Fantastic Four, but Loki dispersed the signals, and the Avengers were formed. Because the Fantastic Four didn't get the message to stop the Hulk. That would have been a great what if. What if the Fantastic Four fought the Hulk instead of the Avengers, and then the Avengers never formed? Kind of have the same story. Not really though. And then issue number 2 was the Space Phantom, and then issue number 3 was the Hulk and Submariner teaming up to fight the Avengers, which I always thought was real crummy of the Hulk. Just you fighting the Hulk. So we got Submariner and the Hulk teaming up to fight the Avengers. Great issue that was. And of course, the Avengers are victorious, which, I mean, we got Giant Man, we got the Wasp, we got Thor, we got Iron Man. And I love this. What do you call this? The ridges on that? You know, I just love that. And then we got the Watcher over here in this Myriad Ditko estate. And then this is the creepiest face. Oh my God, that is the creepiest face right over here. So now this is the point where the Avengers diverge. This is the point of divergence right here. So what's going on? We got to go after the Hulk, you know, and then it all starts with Hulk, Thor's about to leave. Giant Man puts his hand on Thor, and that pisses off Thor. That's really the point of divergence. We got this Joe Wielder body, build a body just for you. I'll pull this back a little bit so we can see the whole ads right here. We got Grit, we got Slim Jims. And here's what I'm talking about, that it was cut wrong. Can you see this? We got this flap over here that extends. So I don't want to cut it off. I just leave it. So this is not, you know, a 9.9 or 8.8. Like I said, my comics don't have to be, you know, 9.9. And I hate when people misuse the word pristine. All pristine means is untouched by human hands. So even if it's beat up, it's still pristine until human hands touch it. So going forward, I will address the chat every time I turn the page. So BBC was pinnacle of TV drama before the push to become American TV with British accents. Can't argue with that. Left End issue 2 is special face. Yeah. Left End issue 2 F Space Atom to no relation formatted Discord on the team. Yes. Greatest quote from modern comics. Thank you, Silk. Yes. Yes. If you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. That is the greatest soundbite in modern comics. I got to agree. Slim Jim's pre-Macho Man. The panels were printed out of plum. I don't know what you mean that. Panels were printed out of plum. What? Oh, my wife was asking for an envelope.
No, I'm asking you to move that envelope.
Oh, she's saying you. All right. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So now the bickering over here. We got to go find the Hulk. Oh, the panels are not even top to bottom. Yes, that's what I said. This page. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yes, it sat in the printer wrong, and that's why this is messed up. You know, the spine is all messed up. Now I wonder, did this happen to a bunch of comics? Marcus, I wonder, is Marcus's comics messed up the way mine is? Did that happen to I think they were printed in a couple of places. So I wonder, you know, mine is physically printed and cut wrong. Yes. Good eye. Yep. Yeah, sorry, my wife was talking to me and distracted me. So now what's going on? Worst episode ever. So now we got the Giant Man is trying to tell the team, we got to go get the Hulk. We got to go get the Hulk. You know, we chased them off, and so this is literally right after the Space Phantom caused discord. So the Space Phantom in issue 2 causes problems. Hulk leaves the team. Giant Man says, we got to go get the Hulk. And they're all like, no. Thor leaves. Giant Man is just like, you know what? Without Thor, I'm just a 12-foot tall guy. You know, Hank Pym always had this kind of inferiority complex. So, and then Wasp goes, why stick around without that dreamy Thor? And he's like, Jen, please. So he walks off, and we got Iron Man. So now we see what Thor's doing. Thor's in Asgard fighting trolls. And as you can see, even this page, you know, it's all messed up. Yes, look. Yep. See, it's cut wrong. So Iron Man goes back to wherever Iron Man, I guess, Avengers Mansion, and he's talking to Rick Jones. Rick Jones is the Forrest Gump of the Marvel Universe, who's been left out of the MCU. Coffee, so good. And he's talking, where's the Hulk? So Iron Man is the only one on the case looking for the Hulk. Hulk comes bashing in. Iron Man knows where he is. And I love this. Only then did Rick call for Iron Man. So he takes off from Manhattan and sometimes later in New Mexico. So Hulk, Iron Man flies all the way to New Mexico. They clash. They're fighting. You know, I love this. He slaps Iron Man. Iron Man's blasting the rocks at him. Hulk's hitting Iron Man. And again, I love these fins, whatever you call them. Hulk jumps away. And then he flies Rick Jones from New Mexico back to New York. You know, this is like some season 8 Game of Thrones stuff. There's no distance. Iron Man is all, look at that. He's all cracked up. Hulk now meets the Submariner, and they're forming an uneasy alliance. You know, so they fight, and they come to like a standstill. I don't know why I really like this panel. Yeah. Sometimes a panel just catches my eye, and I'm like, that is just awesome. But does anybody else see? This is obviously Gil Kane and Klaus Johnson, but something about this panel is like Neil Adams and Jack Kirby and John Byrne and Neil, you know, all in one. You know, it's just, I don't know what it is. I just love this panel. I mean, I love a lot of the panels, but this particular panel, I'm just gonna. Does anybody see what I'm talking about? How it looks? It looks like Jack Kirby. It looks like John Byrne. It looks like Neil Adams. It looks like all of those in one. So now they're teaming up, working together, and Hulk is just like, you know, they're issuing an ultimatum. Hulk looks like a crazy person, and they don't know that the Avengers disbanded. So again, this title is kind of a misnomer, because what if the Avengers have never been? Well, if the Avengers had never been, then Submariner would never have issued them an ultimatum. So it should have been, what if the Avengers disbanded after issue 2? But that's not as dramatic. So Iron Man is accepting the challenge, and he doesn't want them to know that there's no Avengers. I couldn't tell him the Avengers doesn't exist anymore. He would have interpreted it as cowardice. So he's got a plan. So let's check out. I did a couple of pages because I wanted to catch up, because I ramble too much. Yeah, look at the spine of the panel. Yeah, good eye. Like I said, I knew this comic was cut wrong. BBC Radio was better than TV. It was way more interesting. Great comic. Now it's about Muslim women. Well, England has fallen, guys. England is now a totalitarian state. You know, keep voting Democrat. Keep voting liberal. Keep voting progressive. Don't fix this book. It's very rare. I don't even know if I could fix this book. You know, there's nothing I could do. Would that be more like, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I want a better copy. So yeah, I'll trade you. You want to buy me a nice copy? I'll give you this valuable misprint. Tree Goblin, yes sir. BBC TV and BBC Radio chased the low station. Yep. It's nice. Hulk hung around the same general idea until Iron Man could get there. Yeah, it's nice. Hulk just hung out. You know, never turned into Banner. I always thought, like, once Hulk turned into Banner, you know what I mean? It was almost like Hulk was and then Hulk would be created. It was almost like all the old grudges, everything else were gone. It was like a reset, but they didn't bring that up. Why? Because of story. Hulk had to hang around. He didn't have, it said walk. Yeah, he had to hang around. He didn't have that you know, the old piano music in the TV show. The panel might have been drawn by a staff artist. Huge secret of Marvel Comics. If artists were behind for whatever reason, a staff artist would draw panels. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, wow. Let's look at this panel then, because that doesn't look like Gil Kane and Klaus Johnson. Good, maybe. Well, you know. Oddly ironic, Iron Man did not contact the FF for the X-Men to pitch in a recruiting. Well, at this point, there was no X-Men. You know, during Avengers #2, there was no X-Men. And the Fantastic Four, yeah, they had like a formal headquarters. Yeah, so he could have talked to the Fantastic Four. Ironic man. Prayers for the English-speaking world. We will have. Yep. We're living in interesting times, as the Chinese say, and we're all bickering about comic books. Have you ever noticed you turn the page and the art of the panel page looks slightly off? That was drawn by a staff artist. My friend worked for. Oh, there you go. Good. You know, I knew that, but I didn't know that at the same time, if that makes sense. So now we got Stan's soapbox. You know, sounds as zealful, zetic of zestful zanies to zap the zeitgeist. I always liked that picture of Godzilla. To me, it always looked like you smoking a cigar. We got Captain America and the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Just terrible. But at least Captain America knows what's delicious. Cupcakes are anything other than fruit pies. Anything other than fruit pies. Oh, okay. This is interesting. It's going to turn the page, but then this. So Stan Lee presents. This is like the staff. Okay, so we got Archie Goodwin's an editor, Jim Shute, associate editor, Roger Slipher, Roger Stern, Ed Hannigan, assistant editors, Roy Thomas, Len Wein, Marv Wolf, and Steve Gerber, consulting editors, John Romita, art director, John Veerporten, production manager, and Irving Forbush, chair director. Irving Forbush doesn't exist. He was like the Alfred E. Newman. So, okay, let's check this out over here. So we got this. I'm gonna say blasphemy over here. I never was impressed by the machinery that Gil Kane drew. I love Gil Kane's human figures, his dynamism, his action, just his panel layout. But the fantastic machinery, like what does this do? You know, it doesn't look real. It just looks like I'm gonna copy Kirby and be crazy. You know, of course, I can't call out the old Avengers. Maybe I could create new Avengers. So he calls his friends. So the alternate Earth Iron Man spent the next 40 hours working nonstop on the schemes. So who does he call? He calls Rick Jones, he calls Hank Pym, and he calls Janet Van Dyne. And what does he do? I look at that hand. This looks like an AI hand. look at that hand. Okay. It's supposed to be he's holding a pipe. And he offers them Iron Avengers. Now, didn't they bring this into like the real continuity, this whole concept? So the Wasp has a little Iron Man suit that like incorporates her Wasp powers and Iron Man. Giant Man has this big suit that incorporates being Giant Man and Iron Man. And then Rick Jones, if you ask me, he has like the prototype guardsman armor, you know, the green. And here they are, little, you know, going nutty, tested everything, you know, falling everything. They're not used to it. And there we go. Think, use your head. Right, I'll turn the page and I will address the comments. It's slightly askew and it's driving me nuts. There we go. All right. Oh, comics used to be so good. No argument there. No argument there. Hostess Cupcake saved the day. Yep. Look, that was Iron Man's arm. Iron underwear pressing machine. How else can you press iron underwear? So here they are, just goofing around. Not goofing around, but like trying to figure out how the armor works, and they're falling around. So, you know, Rick Jones is falling. Oy vey. It's hard to work these suits. We're trying. Don't be mean. You know, damn it, I worked hard day and night on that armor with Stark. All I ask is you give service. Gee, Iron Man, we shut up. Shut up. You know, that does it. I'm leaving. Why do you have to be so mean? You're a tyrant. You know, they're all storming out. And Iron Man's like, I'm sorry. And I love this panel. I love this panel. The coloring. Not quite stippling. Stippling Vaughn is here, so I guess that word is stuck in my head. But I love this. This panel is just awesome. Yeah, Iron Man's cranky. He needs a nap. Exactly. I'm with you. I'm with you, Anthony. You know, he's been up 40 hours working on Iron Man armor. We got this Neil Adams looking page over panel up here. And if you notice, the comic seems to be like the pages are set right. So the Iron Avengers doesn't work out. So plan B, he's going to supercharge his armor. I got to fight the Hulk and Namor. He overtaxes his armor. So the capacitors are stretched to the limit with superpower. And I love this. They're walking down the street. They took off the armor. It didn't work. So they're in their costumes, you know, rather than their civvies. We got to do the right thing. Iron Man is going out to fight the Hulk and Namor. At least, you know, we're good guys. We got to help them. And we got this ad over here, Bicentennial. These treasury-sized editions. You could earn extra money. Fun Factory. Palisades Park, New Jersey. Palisades Park. Tim Hortons Coffee. Shout out. Oh, oddly, our ironic man never created multiple battery packs. Yeah, that's funny that you should say that, because I was thinking the same thing. How about like a big, huge battery pack thing that like snaps in and then like it ejects out and another one comes back on? I mean, in the movies he had all this flying stuff. Why not like a power pack that swaps in and swaps out? Iron Man, yeah, spell check the enemy. Yeah, I knew what you meant. So here we got Iron Man flies in and just blasts. And again, you can see that the ray, can you see that? The ray starts from behind his hand, you know, just little, I don't know if like, what if this was rushed or Gil Kane, you know, was working fast. I don't know. And boom, Hulk gets smashed. Just this haymaker over here. Big close-up of Namor's butt. You know, just Gil, like I said, I love Gil Kane's human figures. I love his action. Like, this is perfect. The rocks, everything. All right, look at this figure over here. All right, Gil Kane famously put heroes in different poses. You know, he's nowhere. Where's the Hulk? Where's the Hulk? I mean, look at this. This is just like a non intuitive pose to put the hero in. You know what I mean? It's just so good. But when it comes to machinery, things like that, I'm not a big fan of it. But like this is perfect Gil Kane stuff. Hulk is jumping at Iron Man. Iron Man's moving out of the way. Iron Man is still flying, and you can see that Hulk is clearly jumping. You see? Can you see? Could you see like the bounds? You know, the McDonald's, the arches. You can see that the Hulk is clearly jumping, meaning that a flying opponent would have a tactical advantage over the Hulk, which is why I'll still say to this day, Hulk versus Superman, it's Superman. I don't care how strong Hulk can get. Superman has that tactical advantage of controlling his flight in the air. This I absolutely love. Look at the flaps of cloth are flying from the air. This is just so good. Iron Man's in the water. This panel's, again, you know, just masterful. You know, like this pose right over here. A lesser artist wouldn't do this. The knee is the most foreshortened part of the body. So cool. Just so cool. You don't need no stinking backgrounds over here. And then we got this splash page. So Hulk's in the water. Iron Man is releasing all this energy. Just so cool. The little squirrels of the scribbles in the water to make it look like, you know, water breaking apart, droplets. It's just so good. Just so good. Oh, Pops is here. I think that comic is in my press right now. What do you mean by that? you're pressing it out. You're ironing it. Is that what you're doing? I don't know what you mean. Good morning, Pops. And I was just talking about you at the beginning, how you helped me get the double camera set up, and I thanked you. Iron Man, a weapon manufacturer, never thought, hey, I need napalm. That's something name. Oh, pure action, mind blowing stuff for 5-year-old me. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's splash of Hulk. This, yep, pure Gil Kane. Absolutely. For the record, I hated Brian Michael Bendis in his Iron Man extremist pose. It's now become the superhero landing to the point. Yes, they're making fun of it now. You know what I mean? It's time to retire the superhero landing pose. You know what I mean? I agree with you. I roll my eyes when I see it now. It's like, enough's enough. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. I'm not a fan of Brian Michael Bendis. Brian Michael Bendis is patient zero of he is the first guy. You know, in every zombie movie, there's one guy that's bit and then hides it from everybody. I'm fine. I'm fine. You know, Brian Michael Bendis is the first guy that's bit, you know, and then just moves on to other companies and spreads the virus. He's the worst. You know, when I was speaking with Mark Miller, he was saying nice, and I was just biting my tongue. I just wanted to say I don't like Brian Michael Bendis, but you know, you don't want to be rude either. Now I love this. Look at this panel. Look at this panel right here. Just focus on that panel. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Like it's not to be taken literally. You know, it's not a gigantic Hulk head and a tiny Iron Man flying around. You know, this is Iron Man firing at the Hulk, and then like a dramatic, poetic license of the Hulk gigantic face. But that is the kind of thing that only a master artist could do. Like, what made him think to do that? You know, it's just so different. Like, was this in the script? Was this just Gil Kane riffing? You know, it's just such an interesting artistic choice. Like, I never would have thought to do that. You know, it's just pure. And then you got the rays, and it shows you that the Hulk, you know, the continuity between these panels over here, and he just beats the Hulk. And then he forgets that Submariner is here. Submariner jumps up. What do you guys say? Do you guys say Namor, or do you say Submariner? You know, because it seems like these days they call him Namor more often. But Submariner. That's his name. And do you say Submariner? Submariner's pure awful. So they're fighting over here. Clocks them. Just fighting. And again, this is pure Gil Kane. You know, you don't need realistic backgrounds. You just need a few rocks over here. You know, they're in the air. This is just, we can focus on the figures, and that is just fine. Look how thick these lines are. Just look how thick the lines are. And then I love this underwater. Submariner, there you go. Submariner he's got the power. Vinyl repair. You want to fix your vinyl seats. Get some super strength. And look at this. Look at this panel. Just boom. All right. Submariner punches him and rockets him right out of the water. Climb. And look, you got like steel girders coming out of his armor. That's how beat up he is. You know, his noggin is you know, we got weirdly drawn metallic machinery coming out of Iron Man. And I already said that's I will go on record as saying that machinery is Sal Buscema and Gil Kane's weakness. You know, so look at that. Look at that powerful Submariner standing there. He's laying still. So it's as if the fight never happened. Hulk is recovered, and we all know what happened. Like Hulk, you know. I love this face. That is just an awesomely drawn face. Not too crazy about this face, but whatever. And now the rest of the Iron Avengers show up. So we got, you know, Wasp over here, Giant Man in this, and then we got Rick Jones in the green. More armored Avengers? How could this be? Who cares? Get ready. So I love this. she fires these little darts. She fires little darts when she, at this point in Janet Van Dyne's history, in the regular Earth, she fired little darts, kind of like how the Monarch from the Venture Brothers or Black Widow. She had like a little. At first, she had a little gun, and then I guess they didn't want to draw guns in the comics anymore, so they made it like a little. Why can't it bracelet? Jeez, I couldn't think of the word bracelet. And they didn't have enough power to penetrate the invincibility of his skin. But now Tony Stark created the Iron Man armor, which powers it up, so now they can penetrate his skin. Later on, it turns into like full on like bioelectric blasts. Heavy Pym like messes with her mitochondria, and she can fire blasts. I got caught up in this. I forgot about the forgot about the chat. I was actually caught up. I'm caught up meaning like into the comic. Godlike made me wish for Bendis. Yeah, Bendis would have had it made sense at least. I mean, Bendis can write. Bendis could write a cohesive story with a beginning, a middle, and an end. I just sometimes just find it to be boring, dull, politically driven. But like Powers, his comic Powers was phenomenal. That's why I was so excited when Bendis went to Avengers, because I was reading Powers and I thought I really, really, to this day, still like Powers. It was a great comic. So to me, that's like Sinister, that he could write his own material so well, so good, so interesting and exciting, and you wanted to know. And then he goes to other people's property and does nonsense politics. If there was identity politics in Powers, it was so well written that I can't recall it. Maybe if I went back now looking for it, I could find it. But then again, you could poison yourself like that. Thus, that way, oh man, I can't believe how dirty my glasses were. Are we saying Namor wouldn't have enjoyed a nice warm napalm gift? I mean, Namor is usually pretty damp, doesn't he? So that is interesting. Like, just have Namor come out and brag, and then also some soldiers just come out with flamethrowers, just spray them, because napalm burns underwater too. Straczynski, King, DeConnick, Simone, they all start with Brian Mack. Yep, he was patient zero. You say Namor because of the burn run. That really is the oh my god, I can't believe how dirty my glasses were. What the hell is wrong with me? That is really the point where it changed, right? Nobody says Submariner anymore because of Namor. Machinery and detail, nobody does it better than Byrne. Yes. Byrne, I think Byrne is probably first, then Perez, then and Kirby for just craziness. I'm talking classical. I'm sure there's an artist right now that could draw machinery. So now we got, the Avengers standing off. So each set of armor has a specialty. So Rick Jones, he could turn intangible. The Wasp, she's maneuverability. These it's almost like she's got like the nodes. The what are they called on Start? The Enterprise, the node cells or something like that. I forget what they're called, but she's got them, so she can maneuver and she can fire these paralyzation blasts. And then of course you got Hank Pym. He's Giant Man, so his is focused on power, raw power. And I like that each set of armor has a unique ability, so they're just so that it's just not clones. So you could differentiate everything, and I love this. He's just fighting the Hulk. Iron Man is getting sapped, so I need to get to the sea. Don't let him get to the sea. They will pay for this indignity. And then, Hulk is just beating the crap out of everybody. Just beating the crap out of everybody. Hulk is getting underneath him, just matches him. Hank Pym is defeated. Jed cares. Look at Iron Man. The wound in his head is spreading. Victor, who's in our grasp. Now only Rick is left. What can I do? can't move, can't move. They're all just like falling. My heart is beating. I could hear it, but he isn't breathing. The Hulk knocked the wind out of him, and with his power exhausted, his arm is dead weight. So what does he do? It's keeping him from getting his breath. So Hank Pym is suffocating within the armor. Here comes Tony Stark. He puts his hand on the opening. And what does he do? He releases his energy into. He basically jump starts Hank Pym, and he's like, "I got all this energy. I can't waste this sacrifice." And boom, just clocks Hulk right over here. Boom! Look at that! Look at that! Iron Gauntlet to the face, and then Rick Jones is just ghost-like. Namor grabs him in a really poorly drawn hand, hangs him, and then I love this panel over here. Look at this giant Hulk. Rick? That's Rick. Oh, can't get up. Gonna get poked. No, got you. Namor. You dirty flat-headed scum. I'll kill you for this. So Hulk has a heel turn. A heel turn means you turn on your heels. It doesn't mean you turn into a heel, right? So, and then you tried to kill him. He's our enemy. He must die so that I can aid you against. No, he'll never call me names. So now they're fighting. Fighting in the water. They're fighting in the sky. There's no purpose. Our alliance is ruined. I need air. I need air. So that's the end of that fight. And now all the Avengers stand there. Tony Stark gave his life to save Hank Pym. And now we got the sad music. Do, 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 do. I always like to look at the names. We got nobody that I recognize. Nobody that I recognize. And I always like to see where they're from. Like I get a kick out of like, oh, you live near me. So it all was for nothing. The only thing that really happened was the Namor Hulk alliance disintegrated. You know, once he saw that was Rick Jones in the armor, Hulk, you know, he had like a return to humanity, and and this seemed to be like par for the course for these what ifs. They ended on a sad note. So let's take a look at the comments. Oh, it's going pretty quick. I just checked. This book is in my press. So, but what do you mean it's in your press? You're flattening it? Like, details. I love how much expression Kane got out of the Iron Man mask. Yes. I got to sneeze. Okay, Hulk, a heel turn means you turn bad. Hulk did a face turn. Okay. Sneeze won't come out. Oh, God. So there you go. This is what if the Avengers had never been. Slightly misnomer because the Avengers had been, obviously they had been, but they could have just said, what if the Avengers had disbanded after issue 2? That doesn't make sense. Hey, Pops, throwing out my links. How you doing? Check out John's book here, Fund My Comic. It's also on Kickstarter. And both of them are winding down, so which means I will be starting my my Indiegogo. Okay, so there we go. Okay, it had some ripples needed to be ironed out. When you put it in the press, like, do you use a heat? That's something I'm kind of curious about. Like, how do you do it? Like, do you have a video explaining how you press your comics? That would be, and if so, send me the link. I'm kind of curious about that. I would like to do it with some, lesser comics, because I have some really prime comics that could use to be cleaned up. But I'm not going to experiment on Fantastic Four #1. This book is good memories. Yes. Like I said, a lot of these what ifs I got off the shelf. And I got this so early that I didn't organize my comics back then. I just got them and put them in boxes willy-nilly. And a box disappeared, and it had like John Byrne X-Men in it. It had Spider-Man, the Spidey Super Stories, some What Ifs, some early Spider-Mans. It had that box is just gone. I did, somebody just like lifted a whole box of comics from me. I'm talking like before 1980, so comics like that old. Pete Samedi had a good video on pressing comics. Okay, I got to check it out. I mean, I've heard about it. I just naturally a little suspicious of it. My cat sits on my comics. That gets them nice and flat. What I would do is if I have a comic that like is a little beat up, like over here, I got these stacks of comics to read. I put them on the bottom. I put them on the bottom for a long time. By the time I remember about them, that kind of works out. That kind of gets the so it's the same as pressing them in a way. I do not. I put them in there between two pieces of parchment paper and leave them there for a month or two. No moisture or heat. I do not trust myself to. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. My older brother collected comics. I got to read them all. That is awesome. What is the difference? There we go. I hate when I bump into the camera and it's not centered. So there you go. That's Sunday Comics. I got to go outside and chainsaw some wood. That'll be fun. Anything else? As usual, I keep talking until the comments stop, but looks like the comments are stopping. Tomorrow at 2:00, I have Adam Reeves. Adam Reeves does a comic called Trombone Man. I'm excited to talk to him. It's a biography of a real ska trombone player from Jamaica from the 60s. I love Jamaican ska, first wave ska. So I'm sure we'll have some cool stuff to talk about. Who else? I have who else? I got everything in my calendar. So I got Trombone Man on, and then Godfoe on Tuesday. Wednesday I have Paul Revoche. Friday is It's Clobbering Time, and then It's Clobbering Time is Dr. Fate at first Doctor Strange. So that's my week of scheduled stuff. This week I might do a Comics Great. Comics Great is just going to be like an improvised open camera, so meaning anybody can, and we'll just talk about comics. I haven't done it yet. I talked about it. A couple of people said it was a good idea, but I kind of want to do it when nobody else is streaming. I don't want to step on anybody else's toes. I love the old paper. I don't like the glossy paper for comics. Tonight at 10:30. I forgot about that. Yeah, it's funny because I thought it was last night. I got all ready at 10:25, and I sat here, and I was waiting for and I was like, "Well, did I miss it? Did I miss it?" And then I checked my notes. Oh, it's tonight. The yellowing of the paper is like patina and old metal. Yeah, and I love the smell of old comics. I told you I dated a girl in Albuquerque, and she owned a comic book store, and I remember we went in the back room, and the back room just had tables, and that's where like they sorted comics, and the walls were stripped bare, meaning there was no insulation, so it was just like in the storefront there was all sheetrock and clean, but you went in the back, you'd see the beams and the wood slots and everything like that, so the beams would be sticking out, and there would just be stacks of comics stuck in the beams, and some of them were there, she said, for like a decade, 15, maybe 20 years, and it just smelled like old comics back there. And I loved going back there. I loved going back there. The network debut of Super Sunday Wrap Up is now live. Check it out. What is that? Tell us more about that. What is that? Okay, I think coloring looks better on old paper. Yes, absolutely, 100%, no questions asked. I love the way the ink gets muted into the newsprint, and when they reprint the comics, I'm not an expert on this. I'm not an artist. I'm an amateur as far as this goes. But when they put it on like Baxter paper, I don't know. Are they using the same exact color and the paper makes it look weird, like the physical absorbing of the ink on the paper, or do they recolor it with computer and they can't copy it, or are they just changing the color to make it brighter? But there's something about the way that the ink just it gets like dull, and I don't know, I just love it. But when you take like old Kirby and Stan Lee Fantastic Fours and you put them in an omnibus, it doesn't look right. It just doesn't look right. It looks, and I always say this, it looks artificial to me. It just doesn't look right. I was going through one of my boxes last night. My comics from the 70s, the pages are all yellow, the colors just look, and they look awesome. Yeah. Yep. I cannot disagree. Oh, I don't think I showed this. 1977. So there you go. I think I should have stopped because it was 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds. That would have been perfect. All right. So I think we're going to close this down. Tonight, what's the name of the channel that I'm going to be on? I forget the name of the channel. Oh, on Well Read. I'm going to be on Well Read. I mean, if it devolves to like too nasty stuff, I'm not going to stay. You know, I got no problems reviewing a comic, but it's not like I don't want it to be like personal attacks and stuff like that. Read through my old 70s Fantastic Four and read good stuff. All right. Well read. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. I'm going to get going. I want to get that wood off the back deck before it gets too hot. All right. See ya. Bye-bye.